Yes, I'm with Constable Dan Murphy in the wonderful parish of Grouville. Not the smallest, not the largest parish in the island. How long have you been Constable?
September 2003.
So you've had almost 10 glorious years.
Yeah, and I've had 5 glorious elections, which, because of the change in the system, when the constables in the old days used to just, when their 3 years was up, they would then get re-elected. They would have to go for an election. We then got pushed into the whole system with it being elected at the same time as everybody else. So with the fact that I'd taken over a half a term because my previous constable had been very ill, so I got a half a term at the start, and then I got 2 half terms somewhere in the middle. So instead of, one would think, 3 elections over the period of time I've been in, or 4, it's actually been 5.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But the actual term is still 3 years of service at the moment, but the 4-year is on the way.
Yeah, it's been proposed.
Right, but it's not actually, at the moment, it's not to be implemented, because I've never been quite clear on that.
No, it hasn't been implemented at all.
Because I've always wondered, how would that work impact on the rest of the system for the parish, which is basically 3 years, so does that cause any problems or not?
Yeah, I think it would, and I think that was one of the reasons that it's been put on the back burner. If you remember, it was also tied in with the senators coming down in term. I think everybody was going to have a 4-year term, so the constables, deputies and senators, and then the senatorial situation changed in that they knocked off 2 of them, and I suppose they're after another 2 now, and so it's just all gone on the back burner. Politically, you don't come from a political background as far as I'm aware. How did you get into what we call politics? I don't know what you call it in amongst constables. I suppose it started all off, I'm your typical pub politician. You know, I meet a lot of people, I go out a lot, I talk to people, and at the start, of course, you meet up with people. We used to have parish hall assemblies. I took an interest in what was happening in my backyard, and it just grew from there.
Some parishes have difficulty recruiting. You've got about 4,000 population. Obviously there's only a limited number to call on to serve in honorary roles. Is that a difficulty? It is a difficulty at the moment, yeah. We're about 6 short out of our 22. And the problem really is that people now, in the old days it was very easy to fill 22 because you had at least 22 farmers in the parish. So they had sons and everything else, you used to get them in. And now I think we've only got 2 or 3 working farmers in the parish. So everybody else has a job in town, where they have to go off in the morning in their suits and come back, and you just cannot pick up a phone and say, John, can you just stop the ploughing for a minute and come and sort out a road accident? It doesn't happen anymore. You can't get people out of town to come and do that work. And of course, I think nowadays with the economic situation as it is, a lot of families now, you have both parents having to go out to work in order to pay the mortgage, and that's the whole criteria for the basis of really living in Jersey. The cost of your mortgage is large, and if you have 2 people going out to work full time in order to assess them or to keep the mortgage going, they don't have time. You know, after they put their time into their family in the evenings, they don't have time to come out to parish. Well, the official line is now there's no affordable housing to buy, but it's getting there's not even any affordable housing to rent at the moment, so everybody's getting in the same boat, aren't they? Yeah, I've got to declare my situation here, and that is I bought an old guest house some time ago, and I got planning permission to convert part of it into lodging units. So I'm a landlord to some extent. And as you know yourself, I had a bit of a problem trying to get it converted into letting units for... Yeah, it was very interesting that, because you went to a complaints board, which was rather unusual to see a constable going to a complaints board at all, but in his own cause was even doubly, so I attended that. And I found it very interesting, and it was rather... It sort of rather indicated to me that you assume that all these deals are done behind the scenes and a constable wouldn't have any difficulty.